Good evening, everyone. You heard two names. Simultaneous two names. First was mine and second was my boss's name. So I think just for a quick correction, that's absolutely fine. Everybody loves the name. Am I right? Anybody who says like he doesn't love his name, I'm sure there's a problem with that person. So while this is getting done, I think we had first technology session, and this is the second technology session in the row. Let's see how exactly we can keep you excited, because there are two more technology sessions to follow. So while the slide decks get done up, let me just quiz you guys. Very interesting. I'm sure I had this month, which is more like an education month for me. I've had an opportunity all in this month to address more than 1,200 principals across various cities of the country. We have been partnering with another institution as well. And one stuff which I really loved about all the interactions we have been having is how many of us in this particular room have got digital classrooms enabled back into our institutions? Just for a quick reference. Okay, great. All of us are with BenQ? It's great if the hands are there. Truly appreciate, sir, your nod on this. This is one business which we do very close in BenQ. So we hold this particular market more in terms of providing projection systems, so to state, in each and every digital classroom. 2 out of 3 classrooms in the country would have BenQ solutions out there, and we are expanding more in this particular space. Now, my attempt has got to be more in terms of giving you some insights about what we are, and then taking you into this journey of what is happening in the industry and where is the new wave of technology and solutioning coming in. And we will spend most of the time on those discussions. So these slides are just for your quick reference out there, that when it comes to BenQ, you are referring to a brand which is virtually #1 in almost all the segments where we are or where the industry is having solutions. And we cut across almost every category out there. So these are more like in terms of the entrenchment which we have had across the country and the patronage which we have had. Now, this is like an independent report. This is like industry statistics which is there, which formulates like our dominance for last decade in this particular market, being #1 market share player with the wide range of solutions we have been bringing about. As an organization, we are a Taiwan headquartered organization, $25 billion global revenues. And we do a couple of businesses, the prime business being projectors, followed with display solutions. And we are one of the leading brands when it comes to specialized monitors out there. I am not going to touch about our product stories out there. Now, the Indian ecosystem, when we look at education ecosystem in the country, virtually we look into education SIs. So we work with almost all the leading education SIs who would be providing solutions to you. We work with state nodal bodies. We work with institutions which are into the private enterprise space as well. So we cut across almost every domain of your presence in the marketplace, and that's like our engagement and entrenchment for this market. I wanted to give you something which is very unique to this brand. I've been in this IT industry for 20-odd years. I've never come across a company which will have a CSAT which is like as high as, okay, in our terminology we say CSAT. This is like a net promoters index. So if there is a BenQ user and if you ask him, would you like to recommend a BenQ to somebody else, like whosoever asks that particular question, or would you do a repeat buy for BenQ? We have an index which goes upwards 92 to 96 percentile out there, and that talks about your confidence and your trust on this brand, and at the same point in time, the solutions which are there as a part of the innovations which BenQ has been doing. A simple input on this particular slide, which I felt has got to give you another statement of confidence. While we are sitting and we are into Delhi and NCR, so to state out there, maybe this is not very much impacting us, but a quick reference, India has a lakh and 65,000 pin codes. BenQ's strength goes in terms of covering 1,25,000 pin codes out of those. I can name best of the institutions out there, but we won't have a replica of this coming along, and that's like, and many other such things which have been there at the backdrop of all that what we have been doing. So, this is a journey. I'm sure all of us understand this journey. We have transfers through this particular journey, starting from long throw projectors all the way to the interactive solutions which we are looking at right now. 3 things in IT industry everybody talks about, and we are no odd out there. We talk about simplicity, we talk about mobility, we talk about collaboration. And I think the most collaborative device which we have is always there in our hands or in our pockets. That's our smartphone. Am I right? Could simply come up. That's most collaborative in nature. And specific utility of that interactive tool, if I was to ask, which sets it apart from anything else, is like the control, the touch, and the sensitivity which is attached to it, because we feel it. Am I right saying that when we look at smartphones out there, that's like one of those core areas that we feel like really in control and we are driving whatever is happening out there. Now, that's like something which is coming into the domain, and I'm sure this has been there for last couple of years in terms of interactivity when we look into projection solutions as well. Now, that's a journey which I think is very important because, when we were kids, when I was in school, I know for sure my teachers were always writing on a blackboard out there. If there was a 45 minutes of lecture, 15 minutes was lost in terms of writing the things which the teacher had to write on those screens out there, on the boards out there. Here comes the today classroom, where I think this is taken care of when we say we have got a digital classroom in place. If not, then still I think the traditional style of teaching is continuing out there, and we can see whether we want to add a value out there, because that's got to be the first level of technology induction out there. And as we grace through, the requirement of building interactivity is something where we engage and we have like more diverse opinions and interactions happening out there. So those are like kind of solutions which have been there, and I think again, we are transforming. I would say the landscape for the country is very interesting. When we look at India, this is like something which is world pollution chart out there. Maybe few of us might think like from technology to the pollution, but yes, that's like something which is a menace when we look at any of the IT solutions out there. And India is one of those countries where we have the pollution index, which is very, very high. Like we are one of those dark reds out there when you look at oranges and the reds out there on the chart out there. And this is no odd. I mean, leave aside a couple of locations down south or eastern part of the country. I mean, central northern countries got to have, I would say, dust all around us. We cannot say like we don't have dust around us. And those are like many reasons out there when we look into these technology solutions that they tend to create issues or they tend to linger on. So I think this is one area which we are evolving in terms of our offering. So what you see on the board is like a series of projection solutions out there which are going to be completely sealed as engines out there. So the bottom, I would say, corner, what you are seeing is like the complete engine for a device which was earlier like into some 7 to 8 different components. So I think that's one move in the industry which is like catching up. Second move which is catching up, which is very interesting, is linked with interactive panels. Anybody using interactive panels back into the schools in this room right now? Anyone? Okay. No, so I would say like to explain an interactive panel, the best way is to think about your iPads or your iPhones or any of your smartphones, put them onto the wall and think they are like 55, 65, 75 or 86 inches. That's the simplest way I can explain what an interactive panel is all about. Now, when we look into these interactive panels, why are we talking interactive panels? I think, as I mentioned to start with, we all feel like it. We are engaged. There is like a two-way communication happening when we have a device which is responding to the commands which we are giving. Otherwise, there is this classroom where we have teachers like teaching and students like taking the maximum benefit out of what is being taught out there. So interactive panels worldwide are I would say, interactive technology worldwide is center stage. I've been hearing words since morning like whether we ape the West or we ape the East out there. I would say whatever we ape or we don't ape out there, this is like a necessity, and this is something which is settled in, not settling in. It is already settled in. It's just about how soon we are going to look at like building those infrastructures in our institutions out there. So these are a couple of global statistics out there. I mean, the numbers are pretty huge when we look into the grown economies out there, and we being one of the growing economies, obviously like the space is a lot for us to cover. Now, in the IT industry, we look into a couple of giants coming into the corporate space. If you were to ask, what do we do in our offices? I would say we just interact on interactive panels in offices. And it's not like BenQ transforming it. Three larger giants in the corporate world, Microsoft, Cisco, and followed by Google. These three companies have, in the last 2 years, transformed the entire corporate domain out there, where they have come up with their interactive solutions. And we take a lot of pride because BenQ is its own brand in interactive solutions. At the same point in time, we do distribute Google Jamboards in the world. And I'm sure very soon we will be having this business happening into the enterprise space in the country. Coming back into the education arena, I mean, there are many things I can talk about. There are two, three things and two, three thoughts which I would leave you with. Let me start it this way. How many of us in this particular room have got cameras or handphones which are 2 megapixels? Anyone with 2 megapixels? Anyone? I'm sorry, I mean, it's okay. Almost everybody is like 10 plus megapixels. I can simply say that because that's the reality. Do we all agree with that? It's like everything is above 10 megapixels these days. We go out, we have a DSLR and maybe a smart digital camera, we click photographs, come back. What do we watch that on? All the images and the videos which you are clicking. What do you watch that on? Your home TVs, your computers, your laptops. And again, you are watching them at 2 megapixels. I'm sorry, this is more like a technology legacy, what we are all continuing with right now, because what we all have back home or the computers which you are using are full HD screens. You do not support more than 2 million pixels, which is like 1920 into 1080 to multiply out there in all the devices, unless you have opted in for a current day, I would say an LED product out there, OLEDs or a QLED out there, or you have got a 4K monitor out there or a 4K projection system. How important is that? I would say not very important when I get into the education system of the country. Very important when I look into my personal domains, but I mean, when you look into the education domain of the country, today we stand with a couple of thousands of hours of content which is in 4K resolution. Let me give you an analogy once again on this one. The entire nervous system of the body. Anybody in this room can tell me what's the color of the nervous system of the body? Nervous system, nerves, brain extensions and all that stuff. It's normally considered to be pink or whitish or off-whitish in color. Now, God forbid, I mean, hard times, but if you are there in any of these hospitals of late, you see the live streaming of the operation theater which is happening out there. Has anyone witnessed it? As in like outside the OTs, many of the premier institutions do put it up. Watching that on a full HD screen would mean like you're confused whether this is the nervous system or whether this is the blood circulatory system out there. That's the difference in terms of pixels, because the comparison what we are trying to draw is 2 megapixels to 8 megapixels out there. Now, the point why I mentioned this is like industry has moved on out there. So when we look into our investments out there, you can look at securing them in terms of technologies which are current and futuristic in nature. Second thought which I have, which I want to share with you, we were always told like, don't watch TV a lot. Don't work in front of your computer screens a lot. We still do it to our kids back home, am I right? But what if in case we propose you that you can work in front of these panels and the interactive panels we are talking about for, let's say, 8 hours or 6 hours while you are there in the school, and there has got to be no problem. That's what exactly we bring in, and that's like another tech breakthrough which has happened in this industry. And the reason why it has happened is, I'm sure we might have some science experts, if in case they wish to duplicate what I'm saying, I would really love it. There is a specific wavelength of light which is 420 to 455 nanometers. That's like that blue light which is harmful for the eyesight. Current day technology solutions offer that you are able to curtail that 420 to 455 nanometer wavelength of light. And things which we can best test is, please come to our stall, take a video of our interactive panel for just 10 seconds. Go back home. The best of the TVs you have back home, put your cameras in front of those TVs, and then do a 10-second recording out there. What you would see is like a flicker on every screen which you are having back home. So these two things, which are about flicker-free screens and the low blue light, have transformed the adoption rates and the eye care utilities when it comes to the interactive panels in the industry. So the flicker gives an eye fatigue. The low blue light is impacting the retina. And here comes a panel which you can put back home in schools, in offices, which is like taking care of these two health hazards, so to state, out there. And then we add a lot of value, I mean, which is like highly differentiated. I can keep talking about technology offerings out there, but then this is very interesting. It's not so very interesting when I go to a corporate presentation, because as matured people, we will not hesitate shaking hands with colleagues, even if they are coughing and they have got cold or sneeze. We would be abruptly saying, please hold back. We like that bad at times, like we do not feel like shaking hands because we know the other guy has got to be contagious for us. Students don't do that. So here comes a solution out there where we have got a germ-resistant screen. You work on it, students work on it. There is nothing which is going off because there's a free ionic silver coating out there. And I mean, there are like many such tech breakthroughs which have happened. And I mean, we talk about it and we offer them as a part of our solutions offering. Now, why I mentioned all of these things are these are unique with BenQ. When I say unique with BenQ, there are many players in the market. This is a very interesting industry. While the projectors market is obviously like very competitive in this market, there are lots of Chinese influxes out there. And we do appreciate every Chinese influx out there. The only point what we make as a statement is while evaluating, please check, would you like to work with a solution like that if it has got to impact your eyesight? If it is not going to be a solution which can depict the right level of color gamuts out there, would you look at investing in a solution like that? And then look at making your best, I would say, informed decisions out there. I just have a last 2 minutes video to play because I have not spoken a lot in terms of technologies and the usages. So this is like a quick 2 minutes video, if we can have it, which would give you a glimpse of what exactly interactive flat panels can do and how do we use that into our classrooms. Can we have the video, please?
BenQ's new interactive flat panel boasts the friendliest user interface and classroom-ready solutions that can ensure true collaborative learning. It is a 4K interactive display that comes in a wide range of sizes, endowing it with the ultimate flexibility to complement classrooms of different scales. BenQ ensures classrooms can embrace innovation without compromising students' health. As the spread of infection is common in classrooms, the BenQ IFP is empowered by a germ-resistant screen that can kill most bacteria and viruses on contact. Smart eye care technology protects students' young eyes, allowing them to freely explore and learn. With the embedded motion sensor, the IFP can automatically activate low blue light and flicker-free technology. The InstaQ-Share wireless solution is designed to unleash the power of bring your own device, allowing teachers and students to present their ideas with laptops, tablets, and smartphones. BenQ aims to create a collaborative environment where students feel open to discussion and brainstorming. The built-in EasyWrite 4.0 annotation app allows interactive learning to be achieved easier and faster. A single tap can turn the display into a whiteboard. With EasyWrite 4.0, teachers not only can illustrate ideas with the intelligent handwriting recognition technology, but also utilize the toolbox to encourage group participation. When class is over, annotated works can be easily saved and shared within seconds. By browsing BenQ's recommended app list, teachers can easily access the latest technology to keep learning innovative and fun. The IFP's user-friendly design empowers teachers to always stay in the flow. Apart from offering instant access to personal settings and folders through the Smart Account Management System, the IFP also features a hardware design that helps teachers deliver smooth presentations. Equipped with every port needed for teaching, the BenQ IFP allows teachers to enjoy the power of connectivity and guide students with the tools they prefer. When students are interacting with the display, teachers will be able to keep them safe online. With factory-installed display management software, the BenQ IFP ensures setup and management are absolutely hassle-free. The BenQ Interactive Flat Panel is your ultimate display for collaborative learning.
So We are there just outside. I think the stall is 30 number, or you will figure it us out there. Is that 30? The number is 30, 30? 7? Okay. So we're just outside as you walk through, so please do join us. Last thing which I wanted to leave you with is, there were so many interesting professors we have come across, and so many interesting guest faculties which come to our institutions. Most of the times, the only option for recording their lectures is we will put up a complete infrastructure the way we have put in right now over here. Think about a classroom lecture which is happening, where you have got an interactive panel in place, and if you could just touch it on one of the knobs which is there, and you can have the complete presentation which has happened, the entire explanation which the teacher has done, per se, whatever the teacher has spoken, whatever has come on the screen, whatever teacher has written on the screen, getting recorded at 1 MB per minute file size. Would you like to create a digital library like that, which is lectures and real delivery out there, and a real-time reference to be created for students to use? Could be like for students who were not present in the class today, or could be for the guest faculties which have come to our institutions, and we feel like acknowledging what they have shared with our students out there. And many, 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 many more things actually is what we do with our interactive panels. Truly appreciate. I know, I mean, it's been a long day for most of us in this particular room, and you have another 4 hours of session to continue with us. Thanks a ton for your patience and for your listening. Any questions, I would truly appreciate.